On camera, she laughed while she badgered her staff. And so all good things must end. And also the Ellen DeGeneres show. Yes, the 83-year-old entertainer just announced that the upcoming 19th season of her show will be its last. Apparently, she created a workplace more toxic than an Amazon warehouse in Chernobyl.
She was said to be a nasty biatch, and that's Ellen DeGeneres. Yeah. So her show got canceled after she had this testy exchange with Dakota Johnson, where something happened where Dakota said, "Oh, I had this birthday party," and Ellen said, "Well, why didn't you invite me? You didn't invite me." And she said, "No, I did invite you, Ellen. That's not what happened." And Ellen had blown her off and then tried to play the victim on the set with her. Anyway, it led to article after article of people being like, Ellen is a nasty person.
Gutfeld and Megyn Kelly just went wild on Ellen. They called out her fake smile and all that drama behind the scenes. Gutfeld said her be kind thing is just a big joke, while Megyn tore her sweet image apart like it was nothing. This wasn't a roast. This was straight up destruction, and they made it look easy. So yeah, kindness just got dragged big time.
Dana, Ellen is blaming this on misogyny, but there were females that were involved in criticizing her and her staff.
Yeah,
Ellen is a nasty person, and all these staffers started to come out. Not for nothing, but I know a guy, I know him very well, whose sister worked for her, who said you were not allowed to make eye contact with Ellen in the halls of that show. If you saw her, this is not a nice person.
Gutfeld had that sneaky smile the moment Ellen's name came up. He knew the jokes were easy. She used to be the queen of daytime, all happy and dancing around. But Gutfeld said that whole sweet act got old real fast. And now it's time someone called it out.
Countless allegations surfaced last summer that the show's work environment was rife with harassment and discrimination. Following those charges, Ellen's ratings dropped faster than Kevin Spacey's pants at a boy band pool party. Try to say that fast. But Ellen told the Today Show, home of Matt Lauer, that the bad press actually had nothing to do with her decision. Right, and the Titanic didn't hit an iceberg. It chose to sink.
He didn't waste a second before jumping in. He came straight for Ellen, like he'd been holding this in for years. He said her whole career was built on one word, nice, like so nice. It made golden retrievers look mean. But once the truth started slipping out, people realized her backstage world was nothing like the happy show she sold on screen. It was messy, loud, and way darker than anyone guessed.
DeGeneres, bails for the UK. All right, I'm gonna go to you first, Kat, because this is such I think you understand this story. So Ellen and her wife, Portia, have left their millionaire haven of Montecito for England. Now they're saying they'll never come back in the wake of Trump's win. Do you think that's the reason why she's leaving?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
I mean, Ellen got canceled for real a few years ago from just being a...
Yeah.
Greg totally leaned into how crazy it was that Ellen made a whole empire off being kind while running her studio like a nightmare boot camp. He joked that going to her office was scarier than anything, and if you brought her coffee that wasn't the perfect temperature, just a little off. You'd get that scary look, and boom, suddenly hair was breathing down your neck like you messed up big time.
She's coming back. She's got a Netflix special. That's the right response.
Yeah.
She's got a Netflix special. And here's the capper. On the promo, and apparently there's now articles out about from people who have seen the preview. She plays the victim. And she says, "Poor me." And she actually has the nerve to say that she was run out of Hollywood.
He said it was like finding out your sweet teacher was living a double life. The real shock wasn't just the toxic vibes, it was that people truly believed in Ellen. Like she was more than a host. She was a whole feel-good brand. And when the truth spilled, the internet went wild.
In the meantime, to make sure that my staff isn't pissed at me like Ellen, I had my assistant, James, ask them how stuff is going so far.
Greg done behind the scenes lately?
Oh, unbelievable. When I first got this job, Greg flew to Arkansas and packed my bags for me. And then when we got to New York, he said I could live at his apartment and he would go stay at a youth hostel, which doesn't really make sense. But oh yeah, the show's been great.
Well, my wedding dress got destroyed right before the wedding.
Greg wasn't done dragging her. He joked that her show turned into a place where fake happy was the rule, and everyone looked like they were smiling under pressure. Like each season, the grins got stiffer, like they were trapped in a Pinterest nightmare. Even the audience looked scared to clap, like someone off camera was holding a smile or else sign. Then Greg went all in and said the real talent Ellen had wasn't dancing or talking. It was fooling people into thinking fake nice meant good morals. He said it was never real. It was all an act, like a performance, and her show felt more like a soft cult than a talk show where instead of Kool-Aid, you sip organic juice and cry with some random celebrity. He even mocked her famous "Be Kind" line, saying it didn't sound sweet. It felt like a warning, like something you'd see on a creepy pillow in a weird Airbnb. It wasn't kindness, it was business. Smart, polished, and kind of scary.
Yeah.
Because so now she's out there saying, I was run out of Hollywood. She's actually reportedly complaining about how hard it is for women in America with the double standards.
Look at Oprah, how hard it is for her.
Oh, she's got, what, like 10 houses, Ellen DeGeneres?
Michelle Obama, look how hard it is for women in America. They're hurting.
They're going to let her back in, Rob, because she's a leftist and she didn't hit one of their sacred cows.
Greg went after Ellen's fake celebrity interviews, saying they felt like boring therapy talks with no real meaning, just forced laughs and weird vibes. Then he made fun of her merch, like mugs and dog sweaters, saying nothing feels real about a be your best self, cups sold by someone who made staff cry over breathing too loud. He said her fall wasn't surprising. She didn't crash. She tripped on her own fake brand, and now that the music stopped, people finally saw what was really behind all that glitter. And right as Greg wrapped up, Megyn Kelly was stepping in calm, sharp, and totally unimpressed.
It was a pretty exhausting investigation into my staff there, Kat. I think we could safely say that I am not a jerk, despite the rumors. Do you think this is just people? When you become successful, you have to spend less time with people around you because you're servicing. Take Ellen DeGeneres, she's servicing millions of people in her show. Therefore, she has to kind of like mitigate or control the amount of exposure with actual real people.
Megyn came in calm and sharp like a lawyer, ready to tear it all down. She said Ellen wasn't just a TV star gone wrong. She was the face of Hollywood's fake kindness built by PR teams and fake smiles. Megyn said everything about Ellen was planned. Every laugh, every hug, and when it came to the toxic work stuff, she broke it down, cold and clear. Silence was praised, speaking up got you in trouble, all while Ellen acted like the queen of empathy. Megyn called it giant scale gaslighting and said Ellen's kindness was fake. It only lasted. If you were useful, once you became a problem, you were out just like that.
This is the promo for her Netflix special, and here's a clip.
Decided to take up gardening. I got chickens. Let me see what else I can tell you about that. It's been going on. Oh yeah, I got kicked out of show business. Be Kind Girl Wasn't Kind. That was the headline. Here's the problem. I'm a comedian who got a talk show, and I ended the show every day by saying, be kind to one another. Had I ended my show by saying, go fuck yourselves, people would have been pleasantly surprised to find out I'm kind.
Megyn called out how all the celebs rushed to defend Ellen like of course they did. They only saw the nice version, not the one yelling over hand lotion. Then she said, yeah, Ellen broke barriers, but instead of lifting others, she built walls and only helped those who played along. Megyn said, Ellen lost her courage and swapped it for control. And when she apologized, it didn't feel real. It felt like someone upset. They got caught still trying to save a brand that was already falling apart.
Not come back this year. I really did think about not coming back because it did, it was devastating. I am a kind person. I am a person who likes to make people happy.
No, the real reason, she says, is it was just too easy. Telling the Hollywood Reporter, quote, when you're a creative person, you constantly need to be challenged. And as great as this show is, and as fun as it is, it's just not a challenge anymore.
Megyn ended with a cold hit, saying Ellen's empire didn't crash from one scandal. It crashed because it was always a fantasy. This idea that someone could be loved by everyone, be perfect all the time and sell it too, Megyn said. It worked until it didn't, and her fall wasn't sad. It was bound to happen because fake images always break once the real world world catches up. People changed, the world changed. But Ellen kept pretending like smiles and dancing could still fix it all. And when Megyn finished, there was no smug look, just honesty. She said Ellen wasn't a villain. She was a reflection of everything we ignored until it was too late. And with both Greg and Megyn roasting her from different angles, it was clear Ellen, the untouchable queen of daytime, had finally become the star of a roast she couldn't escape from.
I don't sense any humility
No.
in that.
No. And no one cares that now she's dealing with chickens. It's like, all right,
You're a normal $450 million
Right.
person.
And by the way, I guarantee you she's
Who's
worth
taking
a
care
lot
of her
more.
chickens? I guarantee. What's that? You guarantee what?
She's worth a lot more than $450 million.
Her art alone.
And like those talk show hosts.
Her devil-worshipping art alone.
It's just, it's too much. I can't stand these rich celebrities who want us to feel sorry for them.
Greg jumped right back in, looking like he was having the time of his life, he said. If there was an award for the most overdone fake image, Ellen would have won it every year. He said the problem wasn't just that she was fake. It was that she tried so hard to make you think she wasn't like a magician trying to act shocked while hiding the trick right in front of you. He made fun of how she always claimed to be just like us, dancing around, drinking oat milk while secretly running her set like a military base in designer shoes with producers who probably had to swear loyalty just to keep parking. Then he said, if your job needs layers of people and forced smiles, it's not a show, it's a soft dictatorship. He dragged her fans too, saying they clapped like they were under a spell, caught up in pastel colors, confetti, and games that felt more like forced fun, so the vibe didn't fall apart and everything looked sweet on the surface. But deep down, it was all just too polished, too controlled, and way too fake to last forever.
Well, wait, are these still your people? Are you still in California?
No, I had to move out of California because I got little kids. And
we understand why.
It's dangerous to, in California, take your kids, in public schools. In the morning you drop off a girl, in the afternoon you pick up a boy. You never know what you're going to get. But I really didn't feel it was safe in California. And I felt, it's very interesting because I'm getting those calls, and I'm sure you are too, where people call you and say, I wish I could come out and say what I believe, I agree with you.
Then Greg went after the charity stuff, rolling his eyes like they were about to take off. He said, yeah, Ellen gave out trips and big checks, but it always felt like she was paying in advance for people to stay quiet. Like it wasn't real kindness, it was a setup. Every big moment with confetti and applause had a weird vibe, like she was buying loyalty with giveaways, and every oversized check came with a forced smile and maybe some fine print behind the scenes. Then over on her side, Megyn wasn't done either. She came right back, dragging Ellen's post-scandal comeback, saying it looked like a Disney villain trying to do yoga and pretend nothing happened, like everything about it felt off. The public wasn't buying the act anymore, and the only ones clapping were the people still on her payroll. She mocked all the new projects, the comeback interviews, the sad music, the deep voice saying she was healing, Megyn said. Healing doesn't mean hiding in a fancy mansion and then popping back out months later with a new podcast and a cute haircut. Like all the mess just vanished, she said. If Ellen really wanted to fix things, she wouldn't act like the misunderstood victim. She'd just admit she had too much power for too long and used it all wrong. Because in the end, that queen of kindness image was never real. It was built on silence and fear, covered up with glitter, and now that glitter is fading and people are finally seeing what was really under the shine all along.